System change, not
What do we want?
System change.
When do we want it?
Now. System change, that's pretty broad. I would say that's a little broad.
E-I-E-I-E-I-O.
E-I-E-I-E-I-O.
This military industrial complex, prison industrial complex, healthcare industrial complex has to go.
NGO industrial complex. It's so long. There's.
Now let's stick with Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Viva Palestina!
Viva Palestina!
Okay. Where are we? Okay, whenever Jill's ready, I'm going to. I'll start talking.
If I say shut down, you say line 5. Shut down.
I say shut down. You say line 5. Shut down.
Line 5.
Shut down.
Line 5.
Shut down.
Line 5.
Okay, so who wants to use my phone to record during Good afternoon, folks. It's an exciting day for Wisconsin, an exciting day for the Wisconsin Green Party. Today we're announcing that Jill Ferguson is going to be running for governor in the year 2026. And we're doing it now. We're doing it now because the Enbridge Line 5 in northern Wisconsin is potentially the most destructive thing that has faced the Great Lakes. Jill's going to talk more about that. We have to stop it. There's some public comment coming up, and we encourage all of you to submit your comments, because if this line breaks, and it's really old, as Jill will tell you, we lose Lake Michigan, we lose Lake Superior. And that's not just a scare tactic, that's truth. Jill and I started talking. By the way, my name is Pete Karras. I'm working with Jill on the campaign, and we decided to run. Jill decided to run as a Green Party candidate because the Democrats have failed us. They failed, and of course the Republicans have failed us. That's a given, but the Democrats have failed us. We need to send a message to the Democratic Party that their rhetoric should start turning into their actions. Now the Democrats are going to say we're their conscience. People have to wake up and say all words, no action. It's like remember the old Peanuts movies, the special and all they would say was rah 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 rah. That's what it sounds like. It's ridiculous. The other thing is, they're going to say, they're going to try keeping us off the ballot. In 2020, they sued and got our presidential candidate off the ballot. This year, they have a whole team of lawyers nationally challenging the Jill Stein campaign. And they are very undemocratic with a small d. I think they should change their names. Anyway, I'm really excited that Jill has decided to run, because we need somebody to protect the environment, to stand up for us on social justice issues, someone who believes in grassroots democracy, someone who believes in peace, somebody who believes in growing Wisconsin the right way. And also, as she will tell you, somebody who believes in returning phone calls. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I give you the next governor of the state of Wisconsin, Jill Ferguson.
Thank you.
all of you for coming out today. Before I officially make my announcement, I want to show respect, honor, and gratitude to our Indigenous sisters and brothers by acknowledging we are on traditional Potawatomi, Ho-Chunk, and Menominee homeland along the beautiful southwest shores of Michigami. Let's hear it for Michigami! This is North America's largest system of freshwater lakes, where the Milwaukee, Menominee, and Kinnickinnick rivers meet. And the people of Wisconsin sovereign Anishinaabe, Ho-Chunk, Menominee, Oneida, and Mohican nations remain present, thankfully. So, we'll make this official now. I am here today, July 27th, 2024, at whatever time it is, to officially announce that I am running to become Wisconsin's next governor. Those that I've told prior to this, which hasn't been real many, because I just wasn't even sure I'd come today, actually. No, just kidding. But those that I told, you know, they look at me with this blank stare, and they just wouldn't even say a word. And I'm like, wow, thanks for the support, you know. So I was feeling really bad about that. And no matter who I told it to, they're just like, uh-huh. And so then I finally figured out when you know, someone actually had the guts to say to me, I don't know, could have been my son, I don't know. They said, you know there isn't a governor's race in 2024, don't you? And so, you know, I think they were being respectful because I'm old, so they didn't want to say it. So yeah, there is no race this year, but like Pete said, we need 2 years to prepare for this. We need the public to know who is in office and what they are not doing for you and me and for our environment. So I'm here to run for people and planet. We've all been misrepresented too long, and that's done because the Green Party is growing. I'd like to encourage other people to run for something on the Green Party because we are growing this. And in 2026, we will take over enough offices to take care of people and planet and restore some health to this alien planet that we're in. So, there are many issues that led to my decision. Today I'm going to talk about the most urgent, like Pete said, which is the Great Lakes and the Bad River Reservation. How many of you know about Line 5? Raise your hands. Okay. You think you know a lot about Line 5 or a little? Yeah, exactly. And I'm not trying to embarrass anyone. That's exactly what they want. The silence has been deafening from our governor and from the 134 legislators in Madison. And that's why I'm here today. I have spent 18 months just about stalking Tony Evers, calling on him, you need to speak up on this, one way or the other. Where do you land? How do you feel? You know, we had a DNR public hearing comment about it. When was that? 8 months ago or something? 35,000 people spoke out against it. Crickets from the governor. Crickets from the Capitol. This is a big deal. We're talking about a pipeline under the Great Lakes that was put there in 1953. It had a 50-year lifespan to operate safely. Let's see, somebody do the math here. What is that? Way past. Yeah, way past. 21 years to be exact. It is literally, actively rotting beneath the Great Lakes. Many of the supports that were put in 1953 are no longer there. And even if that was the same year I was born, 1953, I know my legs aren't too good anymore. I'm not very strong anymore. I'm pretty crusty, just like that pipeline is right now. The coating is gone. All kinds of debris have landed, making it even heavier. So we've got a real issue here. The Great Lakes is 90% of this nation's fresh water supply. That's unsustainable. Oil and water don't mix. So So just a little bit more about it, and then I'll get into what's going on with it now. So it is a 645-mile crude oil pipeline, like I said, built in 1953. It goes from Superior, Wisconsin, right up at the tip of Wisconsin, to Sarnia, Canada. From Canada to Canada, for Canada. They are merely taking a shortcut through our pristine land and water. They just got done doing this in 2021 in Minnesota at Pipeline 3, where Governor Tim Walz, you rolled out the red carpet for Enbridge. Sure, yeah, you do that. Even made them sign a contract that they would arrest the water protectors. That's Minnesota. On the other side of it, we got Michigan, and we've got Governor Whitmer, who said, "Get out! You need to shut this thing down. This is not safe." You've got big ships and things going back. The anchors are running into this pipeline, and it's not if it's going to rupture. It is when. I wake up every morning literally afraid to turn on Facebook because I don't know if today is the day, if overnight it happened. And Enbridge will try to tell you that going under the water is the safest way to transport oil. That's just that is so false. Everything Enbridge says is a lie. Water moves, and it takes them, I think it was 17 hours, wasn't it, for the largest inland spill, I love the word spill too, of 1.2 million gallons of oil in the Kalamazoo River in 2010. We were just down here last night because yesterday was the anniversary of that pipeline rupture. So, and again, the word spill drives me crazy because, I was at a oil spill to this day. They call it the Refugio oil spill. And it was in Santa Barbara, California. And they call that environment, say, come on up with a 5-gallon bucket, anything so you want Pelican, So I went up there. And I'm going to tell you that from the sand to the horizon, to the left to the right, that's all you saw was an oil slick. That is not a spill. That is a flood, an inundation. A disaster is not a spill. But they use those words so that if they even do bother to tell you about it, the image you have in your mind is, oh, a spill, that's no big deal. I just get a paper towel and clean that right up. A spill is when my grandchildren accidentally tips over his glass of milk. Hey, no big deal. I'll get, paper towel. That doesn't work. So whenever you hear the word spill, make sure you look into it deeper because that's very deceiving and intentional. So this is owned, this pipeline 5 and 3 over in Minnesota, and the pipeline in Kalamazoo. All of these pipelines are owned and operated by Canadian multinational Enbridge. They are an oil cartel. I think the silence from the Capitol is one of two things, and this is only my opinion, but because they don't tell me what's going on and because they refuse to take a stand, that forces my mind because I got a lot of time, And so I think, well, what could that be? Why do you think they're not saying anything about this? And what I came up with is either number one, they're getting one of those little white envelopes passed around, with some green in it, or they're afraid of Enbridge, or both. And that's not okay. Governor Evers, I've been calling on you. We've had national call-ins to his office to say, end the silence. You are one of 8 governors in the Great Lakes Compact, and you are responsible to hold these waters in trust for future generations, not in silence. So if you can't grow a spine and address this issue, then step aside and let someone else in who will. I will not be afraid. So if you were to look up, I'm not going to tell you all of it, but if you were to look up, and I encourage people to Google what I'm talking about, because there's so much information out there available to you, it's crazy. So Enbridge is known wide and far for total disregard for the environment. They are careless. They continually violate their permits. Like with Line 5, they said the permit that they were going to need to take 50 million gallons of water from the waterways to mix with their secret sauce compound to shove their hydraulic drill under the earth. And they, in fact, took 5 billion. We're just a couple zeros off from 50 million to 5 billion. And the governor, Tim Wolf, allowed this to happen. They were literally taking it from fire hydrants. This is not okay. Why are we allowing this? Why are we allowing a foreign corporation to come through our pristine land and water that goes back up to Canada for Canadians and for Canada's economy? Why are government officials from Biden all the way down to the 134 legislators in Madison, why are they taking a Canada first stance? We need answers. We can't just ask anymore. We need to stand and demand that we get answers. Why? And like I said, I've been trying for 18 months without success. 3 different times I sent a letter to every 134, verified by the Sergeant of Arms that they all got that letter, telling them stage by stage what was happening with Line 5. And I asked them to please step up and say something about it, to be a champion. We need a few champions in Madison, and I haven't found one yet. So, like I said, Enbridge is responsible for the largest spill in inland, and they also, right in Wisconsin, in Fort Atkinson, they had a spill of, I think it was, just a few thousand gallons of oil, which is a lot when you mix that with water, and they just left it unreported. This is how they operate. So, and then we also, over in Minnesota, they destroyed the ecosystem. They breached 5 aquifers that are unrepairable. The state sued them for $11 million. Chump change, cost of doing business, no big deal. It's a real big deal to the people that live there and whose backyard this is in, and whose wells are being contaminated by this. It's a real big deal. So right now, like I said, it is rotting beneath the Great Lakes. Another issue with Line 5 is at the Bad River Reservation up north. They put this pipeline in, again, 1953. The indigenous people gave them an easement for a period of time. When that pipeline was put in, it was put in underground there, not in their river. It was 320 feet from the river. 320 feet. That sounds safe, right? Well, because it's now 71 years later, it has eroded to the point where if 6 more feet of the earth falls into that river, and in court I saw a section of 5 feet just break away, trees and all, and dump into that river. So again, every morning I am so concerned that I'm going to wake up and see that reservation has been flooded with water. 523 million gallons of oil goes through that pipeline every day, 365. I said that report where they said, well, once it does rupture, it's going to take 3 to 5 days to shut it off. At 523,000 gallons of oil a day, what do you think is going to happen to that land, to that river? That river will go right into Lake Superior. It'll go up and it'll surround Lake Maple. It'll go into Lake Huron. This is not okay. This is not okay. This is our only fresh water supply. As the rest of the world, much of the world, is suffering from water insecurity or water that's undrinkable, we are throwing this away like it's nothing, like it's replaceable tomorrow with something else. There is nothing else. So, Governor Evers, you can ignore some people, but not this one. I'm going to tell you, the Gen Z has dubbed me badass grandma, and so you mess with the wrong one, Governor Evers, because I'm going to challenge you. If nothing else, to get up and debate me about it now. I would love that.
Right.
Yeah, time to answer, Tony. So I sat in federal court where, the tribe, and it's not right either. They both Governor Ripper in Michigan and the Bad River Band is having to pay millions of dollars in our court systems to try and shut this thing down. We've got two potential huge emergencies about to happen any day, and they're going broke trying to defend it in court. I sat in court in Madison where the judge literally said that Enbridge is illegally trespassing on the Bad River Reservation.
All right.
What is it? Illegally trespassing. Does that mean you gotta go? I thought so. But instead, the federal judge said, well, you know what we'll do? We'll throw these, indigenous people a couple more cents a day, for illegally operating in their land. We'll just give them some more money. You keep going, Enbridge, because capital is capitalism, and you got to make as much money for as long as you can. So you keep on going until that thing ruptures, and then, figure something else out. So that is just wrong. That is absolutely wrong. So they have been fighting in court since 2019, the Bad River Reservation. Again, Biden has been silent about this too, but then finally, when this federal court in Madison said, well, okay, you know what, we're going to tell, hey, Enbridge, you're going to have to shut this thing down in 3 years. In 3 years? In 3 years? When every morning I wake up, the members of the band on the reservation, is today the day? They just got done doing an emergency training for what happens and what they need to do when it happens. And this is just inconceivable to me. And again, has Tony done anything about that? Tony, have you gone up and visited the reservation? Have you seen that it's 6 feet, 6 more feet, and we've got a pipeline in free fall? And it's not going to spill. It is going to destroy that reservation, their river, and going right out into the Great Lakes. Water moves, and it moves rapidly. So, let's see. I talked about
catastrophe is avoidable.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, this is just a no-brainer. So, my question. So then finally, Biden came forward after the federal judge made the ruling to shut down in 3 years. Biden finally speaks up and says, "Here's the kicker, kids. Here's the kicker. This is how they're able to do it." So Biden says, sorry, Judge, you're going to have to reverse that decision because there's this thing called the 1977 U.S.-Canada Transit Pipeline Treaty. What that treaty says is that Canada has the right to go through our land and our water unobstructed with the hydrocarbon of their choice. Boo is right. Yeah, big time boo, big time boo. In 1977, I was around then, so I understand why it was put in place at the time, because we were in blocks long lines trying to get gas, and there was none. So, but that's a long, long time ago, and that needed to either be completely revoked or amended or something. But it stands as it did in 1977. In fact, Canada, the embassy in Canada, told Governor Whitmer when she was trying in court to shut it down, they did the same thing. They pulled out this treaty. Now, sorry, Gretchen, you don't have to go. You don't have to go. And Biden upheld that. Biden told the judge in Madison, you can't do that. Is that leadership? want to know, why are we making Canada first at our expense of our pristine land and our precious sacred water? These are questions we need to ask and demand answers to. In fact, yeah, that's right. In fact, one of these days, one of my plans that I'd like to do is occupy the Capitol until Tony comes down and answers our question. Because we, the people, need to know.
Yeah.
If he's not going to do something, we will. But we have to know first. We have to have an awareness. And that's why people don't know. I ask all the time, do you know about life? No. So again, Tony, I'm challenging you. When I look at this situation, I say, okay, what is it when a foreign country invades a country, occupies the country, stays after it said that they're illegally trespassing, and they refuse to leave? I call that an act of war. I call that international eco-terrorism, plain and simple. So that's what right now, the process is in right now. So what they're wanting to do is put a 41-mile reroute and 41 new miles of pipeline to a 71-year-old aging pipeline. Does that make sense, anybody? Does that
Hell
make
no.
sense?
Heck no.
No, they're going through 180 bodies of water to get there. Does that make sense? No. I was arrested at the headwaters of the Mississippi River. The headwaters. The river that goes from the top of our country and comes into the Gulf. I was arrested for protecting the Mississippi River where they were going under, not once but twice. So, I think I told you them, I think you get the picture about that. So that's my top issue. The other ones, of course, are this war in Gaza is insane. Netanyahu should have been arrested as a war criminal. Period. Shame on every person in that Congress who gave that beast 54 standing ovations. Shame. Absolute shame. I have never felt as embarrassed. I was literally sick that whole day after seeing that. And once again, we need to ask questions and we need to demand the answers to them. The other issue, briefly, is the police violence is out of control. It's absolutely out of control. I did a hashtag that said, end police sport killing. That's exactly what they do. When you shoot to kill, when you choke to death, when you beat to death the unarmed, you are sport killing. Lives are not virtual. They're valid. You know, they're vital. So this has got to be addressed. The qualified immunity is insane. You know, these officers and military members have played, Call of Duty for 10 years before becoming cops, so they're ready. They're ready to take it to the street and do it for real. They don't want a joystick. They want a gun and a stun gun and a billy club and everything else that they got hanging off of them to injure the people. So enough of that. And I want to just congratulate in Milwaukee. We have they're called the Milwaukee Alliance Against Racism and Political Oppression. And they have done some amazing work after years of pushing for SOP 525, which says that within 48 hours, the police have to release body cam to the family of someone they just got done killing. Prior to that, yeah, exactly. Props up to Mark. They're doing amazing work. And so I want to call on Cavalier Johnson right now, too, to meet with them. You need to meet, these are brilliant people with solutions. What happened here with Sam Sharp being murdered by Ohio police never would have happened if the mayor had listened to the people instead of trying to be self-promotional and rise in the ranks of the Democrats in this country. So I'm going to wrap it up by saying this election coming up in 2024, please people, You've got to do your homework. You can't just vote D for Democrat, R for Republican, and vote down ballot anymore. Those days are long gone. You need to do your research. You need to find out how they vote, because I'm going to tell you right now, after looking, the Democrats used to be like 90s and 100%, no more. There's a few, thank God. Republicans are never over 5 or 6% that they vote for the planet. I don't know how we can be healthy without a thriving planet. It's not even possible. So those are some few of the issues, and we'll talk more about it later. I've got a website you can go to. I'm going to be starting a podcast soon that y'all can listen in on and share your thoughts with me, because like I said, I'm here to represent people and planet, and proud to do so. Thank you so much.
Our next governor, Jill Ferguson. Just think how much better this state and this world would be if we had people like this in office. And you probably can't hear me because they're practicing war games behind me. I mean, think of, it's kind of fun to watch them and watch them all day, but those are tools of war. And think of the environmental damage they're doing and the war machine does. They're probably our biggest polluter. Anyway, JillForCongress.org is the place to be. As of 9 o'clock this morning, you're able to, I know you all been waiting, you're able to make donations. I tested it. Jill, you have $5.
Let's go.
But we encourage you to go there. We could use it. What's that?
What's the website again?
Jill for governor.
What is it?
Jill for Governor.
Oh, Jill for Congress. Oh, Jill for governor. I'm sorry, JillForGovernor.org.
There we go.
Well, the other Jill got the $5.
Jill for Governor.
Anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming. Peace. Let's keep the movement going and go green.